Episode number 82.
Hi, you're listening to the Careers Beyond Motherhood podcast with your host, Janine Esbrand. I'm here to help working mums like you to thrive in your careers and in motherhood. I share tips, strategies, and inspirational conversations with awesome women to help reduce the struggle in your juggle.
Time for a say, Mummy.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It is great to be back with you again, as always. If you are a first-time listener, welcome. Lovely to have you. So today I want to talk to you about how to decide if an opportunity is right for you. And the reason why I'm talking about this is twofold. So when I was running the Career Change Bootcamp a few weeks back, I came across lots of amazing women and men and heard their stories and heard about where they were and where they were trying to get to with their careers. But there was one particular person that stood out, and her story stood out because I thought to myself at the time when I heard it that this is so common for a lot of people. So she was in a position where she'd taken a career break, she wanted to get back into work, and she was looking for a role. She came across a role that seemed amazing, working for a fabulous company. The only issue was the role was a full-time role, and she ideally wanted to be working part-time. She wanted to be spending time in her week with her children, and working part-time would have been ideal for her. So she went for the interview, she got to the stage where she was made an offer, and at that stage she asked whether there was any scope for flexibility. And unfortunately for her, the answer was no. The organisation said that the role was full-time and they couldn't accommodate part-time. So she was left with a dilemma. Does she take this role that seems like an amazing role for a company she would love to work for, but do it on a full-time basis? Or does she turn it down because she really wants to work part-time? So in that instance, she decided to take the role and work full-time. However, months down the line, she realised that it probably wasn't the best decision because she wasn't enjoying the work that she was doing. Even though the role was ideal, the company was fantastic, the fact that she had to work full time and that it was detracting away from her living her life and having the family lifestyle that she wanted to have meant that the role wasn't as appealing as it first seemed. So her question was whether or not you should kind of look to hold out for a part-time position or go for a role even if it doesn't allow for part-time but it ticks all of the other boxes. So I thought it would be good to talk about this on today's episode because I know that for a lot of people, opportunities come up and then when they're on the table, it's hard to decide whether or not that is the right opportunity to take. And then also when people are at the stage where they are seeking opportunities, it can be hard to know where exactly they should be looking and what kinds of opportunities they should be seeking out. So I thought it would be good to talk about that. And the other reason why it is really relevant right now is for personal reasons. So I have been working as a consultant lawyer for the past 4.5 years. So since having my son, if you've been listening to the podcast for any length of time, you will know that I have a portfolio career. So I work as a lawyer and I'm also a career strategist and an executive coach. Now, I was working as a corporate lawyer before I went to have my son. And after, while I was on maternity leave, I decided I wasn't going to return to corporate law. And so I decided to start working as a consultant lawyer in an in-house environment. So I've been doing that for the last 5 years in different capacities. So I started off working for an organisation, and more recently I've been working for a number of different clients. And it's been great to have autonomy over my time, to be able to manage my clients on the coaching side and on the legal side and do all of that. Although I will add that it has been stressful, it hasn't been easy by any means or stretch of the imagination, but it has meant that I've had control over my time. So that's what I've been doing. But then about 2-3 months ago, an opportunity came up for me to go and work for a startup as their in-house legal counsel. And when the opportunity came up, I had to consider whether this was the right option for me. And so I went through my career fulfillment framework, which is the framework that I use with my one-to-one clients and the clients that go through my group coaching program to really help them to identify what it is they really want from this next role in their career, and to make sure that they're using that as a filter to determine whether the opportunity in front of them is the right opportunity. So I'm going to talk you through the framework and how I applied it to my situation so that you can see how it can apply to you if you're thinking about what your next opportunity should be, or considering whether the offer on the table is one that you want to take. So the framework is in 4 parts. So the first part of the framework is looking at your vision. And when I'm talking about vision, I'm not just talking about your vision for your career, I'm talking about your vision for your life holistically. I am a firm believer in work-life integration and the importance of having all the different pieces of your life fit together and knowing how you want those to fit together. So when you're thinking about your vision, it's really looking at like, what do you want your life to look like in the next 12 months, in the next 24 months, in an ideal world, looking at the different aspects of your life because they impact each other. So for example, if you want to be really present and you want to attend various things at your child's school and you want to be involved in their early years, then having the flexibility and perhaps a part-time role might be important to you at this stage. Or if you are someone who loves to travel and you want to be able to do that in your work, then that is something to consider. So it's about taking a step back from what's immediately in front of you and saying, what is the vision? What is it that I'm trying to create in my life right now? And what would I love to be doing on a day-to-day basis? So for me, when I was looking at this particular opportunity, my vision for my life is to be available and present for my children, to spend time with them in the week, especially my daughter, who is 2.5. My son is now at school, so I want to be available for them. I want to be working with clients that I am able to make a difference with, make an impact with. I want to be really making a difference in the world around me through the work that I do. So I have this big goal that I will help 1,000 people to find career fulfillment in the next 3 years. So I know that that's something that I want to be doing, whether that is in my capacity as a coach or in my capacity as a lawyer, however that looks. I want to be impacting the lives of people through the work that they do. And so when I think about the vision, I think about that. I think about the fact that I want to, be able to travel. I want to spend time with my husband. I want to enjoy the work that I'm doing and enjoy the life that I'm living. So when I think about that vision and then I think about this opportunity, I ask myself, how does this opportunity fit into that vision? And the fact is, I'm going to be working for a company that has a strong focus on professional development, and I'm going to be doing their legal work. But what's brilliant about this opportunity is I get to blend the legal work with my passion for coaching because of the mission of this company and because of where they are heading and what their product is for and who it helps. Even through my legal work that I'll be doing on a day-to-day, I will still be contributing in some way to helping other people achieve career fulfillment. And so that's a massive tick for me. And knowing that I'm going to be showing up at work and really enjoying the environment and the work that I'll be doing, and knowing that the cause and the greater mission is something that's very much aligned with what it is I want to be doing, is definitely a big tick for me. So that was the first part, the vision. And the second part is values. So understanding what your values are and what is really important to you and what makes you tick is such an important component, because if you are working for an organization that isn't aligned with your values, you will find that you feel like something is off, like you can't necessarily put your finger on it, but there's something about either the way the organization is being run or what the organization stands for that doesn't sit very well with you. But if your values are well aligned, then you're going to feel great about showing up at that workplace. You're going to feel great about putting in the hard work and doing the work on a day-to-day basis. So if you have values that are things like honesty and integrity and looking after the environment, and you go and work for a company that is doing those things, then you're going to feel fantastic. But if you go and work for a company that has, practices that aren't aligned with your values of honesty and integrity, then you're going to find it hard to show up. So knowing that your values are aligned is definitely important. So I was looking at my values of wanting to help people achieve their potential, and the commitment to growing and consistently learning, my commitment to family, and lots of different values that I have, and really felt that this company and what they stand for and what I'm going to be doing there is aligned with my values. And then the third thing in the framework is vocation. So when you get to the point where you're doing work that you really enjoy, and it's not just about working for a paycheck, but you're working to make an impact, then you kind of move away from having a job and more move into the realm of having a vocation, where you feel like your purpose and what it is you should be doing with your time is something that you're able to fulfill through your work. And so for me, knowing that the role that I'm going to be doing on the legal side of things and making sure that this company is compliant and doing all the things they need to be doing means that I'm going to be contributing in a positive way to a company that has a mission that I am absolutely behind and for. So it's going to feel less like, okay, this is just a role, and more like there's a bigger purpose to the role that I'm doing. And then the last part of the framework is validation. So once you've got an idea that this might be what you want to do, how do you validate that? How do you test and make sure that it is? And one of the things that I did was looking at the company, finding out more about the actual work that I would be doing, going in and meeting the team, having discussions with different people to really understand what it would look like for me to work there and whether or not I like the look of what that looks like. For me, the answer was yes. And so going through that framework, so to recap, that's looking at your vision, looking at your values, looking at what your vocation should be, and then looking at validating your options, going through those 4 steps and really looking at this role as an opportunity and asking myself those questions around those 4 areas of the framework helped me to arrive at a decision that said, yes, this is a great role. So as much as I won't have as much autonomy over my time, I know that the work that I'm going to be doing in my role as legal counsel is going to be fantastic and something that I really enjoy. And I'll still be doing my coaching work alongside my work in this role, but this is a good opportunity in this season. So I wanted to share that with you because that's the thought process that I went through when deciding on this opportunity, because this opportunity kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't go looking for it, it came my way. And so I had to say, okay, is this something that I want? And then really assess it. And so if you're at a crossroads, or you're kind of thinking, what kind of opportunity should I be going for? Or how do I decide if this is the right opportunity for you? Going through that framework is really going to help. And this is something that I help my clients through who are going through my Career Clarity Academy, taking them through this framework and the step-by-step process to really identify exactly what role you need to be doing so that you have fulfillment in your career. So I hope this has been useful for you. This is the kind of thing that I work through myself and work through with others, and the framework that I suggested to the lady that I spoke about at the beginning of this episode. So if you're thinking, this sounds really good, this would be really useful, I would urge you to head over to lightboxcoaching.com/kickstart, and there you will find my career kickstart guide. And this is the guide that has the 4-step framework in there that will walk you through the things that you need to think about to map out what your vision, your values, your vocation, and your validation looks like. So lightboxcoaching.com/kickstart. That's going to take you to the page where you can put your email address in and download the guide. It's completely free, but that can help you to get a head start if you are at a crossroad right now and trying to figure out what opportunity you should go for, or whether the opportunity in front of you is the right opportunity. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share with you today. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the podcast so that you will be notified when our next episode goes live. And I would love if you would leave us a rating and review. The more reviews we have, the more people are able to find this show and join in the conversation. So I appreciate if you were going to spend some time on your iTunes app or whatever app you use to listen to your podcast to just take a few moments to leave a review. All right, I'm going to go now. Until next time, look after you and look after your little ones.
This podcast features music from Ben Sound.